I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is Snowed In Romances. Snowed in is my favorite form of forced proximity. It just is for some reason. Obviously, I feel like we love forced proximity in any way, but snowed in is kind of my go-to circumstance. A few of these are Christmas, a few of them are not, but they all get snowed in together, and not only do they get snowed in together, but that does for sure help facilitate them becoming a couple. My first one is The Gamble, which is Colorado Mountain #1 by Kristen and Ashley. This is not a holiday romance, and there are some pretty severe content warnings for this, specifically suicide, sexual assault, and attempted suicide, I would say are the big ones. We have an American who's lived in England for the last several years, and she is taking a vacation solo to figure out if she wants to break up with her fiance. And when she does, the owner of the cabin, he rents the cabin via a third party, is there, and he's not supposed to be, and the cabin wasn't supposed to be rented, so he sends her back down to the hotel. Well, she's actually really sick, and she's not used to driving in the mountains, and she ends up in a ditch, and the storm is coming down, and he had called to the hotel to make sure she'd made it, and she hadn't. So he goes and he finds her, and she's like delirious with a fever, and he takes care of her for several days. And then he's just like, yeah, I'm not impressed with your fiance. Like, if you were my woman, how would he not have called? Why would you be here by yourself? Why would he not care? And of course the fiance shows up, and there's all sorts of drama. Even though she's like broken up with him, the fiance shows up, and it's so good. And there's a suspense thread, but like I said, those content warnings are pretty severe. They're not for the main character, they're for side characters, but they are a big part of the book. Then I have Redemption by Wright. This is a dark Christmas romance, and we have a Black woman who is being abused by her partner. There is a domestic abuse scene at the beginning of the book, so be aware of that. And there is also not safe for work artwork in this book. So she escapes her abusive partner, but he's chasing her, and she ends up getting stuck at this other guy's house because of the weather and the snow, and she has all of her kids with her. And the guy that she crashes with, he was a mafia member, and his wife and son were killed, and he has escaped the mafia and is out in the middle of nowhere. And then this like ready-made family shows up on his door, and it's a little bit of a slow burn. They don't hop into it right away, but he's obviously very dangerous, and when the ex shows up, they kill him pretty brutally. So if you want that type of vengeance and satisfaction, you do get it in this book. They were super sweet to each other, so while there is a lot of darkness in the book, the conflicts between the couple are like non-existent. So they were super sweet, the kids were delightful, and I just really enjoyed it. Next I have Unwrapped by Gadziala. So for this one, she is bound and determined that she is going to have a good holiday, even though she's going to do it by herself. She grew up in foster care, I believe. She's never had a Christmas, so she has all of the trappings for Christmas, and she crashes. And she's rescued by a mountain man, and he takes her to his home, and they obviously fall in love. He's so sweet. So sweet. There's like a famous writer that shows up, and they were just so cute together. The only thing about this is he like does let her go at the end, and then they eventually, it was like a whole year later, finally get back together. If you want a lot of Christmas festivities, this one is very Christmas focused. Next I have Uncovered Truths by Alexandra Warren. This takes place around the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. This is a second chance romance. They were co-workers, and she's older than he is, and she got him to transfer kind of with the idea that they would be together, and then she broke up with him. And now she showed back up, and the party was canceled, and he forgot to tell her. He didn't think she'd actually show. I think it was the Super Bowl party, and they get snowed in together, and he's kind of frustrated with her, and it was just really, really good. Lastly, I have Christmas Alpha by Carole Mortimer. Obviously, this is a Christmas romance. He's famous, and she shows up at his door. I think she's a courier, and he thinks that she is the model that he's supposed to be shooting, I think. He has a ex who is stalking him. They get snowed in. Somebody is watching their cabin, and you know, there's footprints outside the windows and things like that. So there's this suspense thread in there, but he makes a very bad first impression and then kind of has to make up for that. And it was delightful. So if you have any snowed-in romance recommendations for me, please let me know. What's your favorite form of forced proximity? And have you read any of these and loved them? Thanks so much for watching. Bye.